Hi. In this video, we will learn about the MIRR function in Excel.
The MIRR function in Excel calculates the modified internal rate of return. So this is different from the internal rate of return. So in the internal rate of return calculation, we assume that the rate at which the company borrows and reinvests is equal to the IRR. But in reality, the company's borrowing rate and then the reinvestment rate is different. So to get a more accurate internal rate of return, we can use the finance rate and the reinvestment rate in the MIRR function. So the syntax of MIRR is you give the values, then the finance rate, which is the rate at which the company borrows, and then the reinvestment rate, which is the rate company gets on its reinvestments. So basically the MIRR function computes a discount rate that makes NPV of all our cash flows, that's including the payback of the loan and reinvestment of proceeds at the given rates, equal to 0. So the formula used in MIRR is this. You have the negative NPV. We have minus NPV. This is the reinvestment rate. And then it discounts the positive cash flows at the reinvestment rate. So like we are investing, and then the negative values we discount at the financing rate. So that's basically the borrowing rate. So we are basically discounting the positive cash flows at the reinvestment rate and the negative cash flows at the finance rate. So let's look at example. So here we have a borrowing rate of 12% for this company and a reinvestment of 20%. So we have a project cash flows like this up to 5 years with initial investment of 1 million. So let's try to calculate the MIRR. So here we have to just give the values and then the finance rate, that is the borrowing rate, and then the reinvestment rate, and then we close the bracket, press enter. So we got 27% MIRR. So let's calculate the IRR. So the IRR is 32%, but the modified internal rate is 27%. So this is more accurate because it's actually taking the real borrowing rates and the investment rates into account. But the IRR is basically assuming that the borrowing rate, the investment rate, and the project's return are the same IRR rate of 32%. So the MIRR is a more accurate reflection of the internal rate of return, considering the correct borrowing rate and the investment rate. So if we calculate NPV, so we'll use NPV using the rate of IRR and then the cash flows, and we add the investment separately and we get 0. So IRR is correct because it's theoretically the rate at which NPV becomes 0. But when we consider the borrowing rate and the investment rates, this is the actual IRR we are getting out of the project.
Thanks for watching.